Good morning, students. Our today's topic is tRNA, the adapter molecule. Francis Crick postulated the presence of an adapter molecule that would, on one hand, read the code and on the other hand, would bind to the specific amino acid. The tRNA, then called soluble RNA, that is sRNA, before the genetic code was postulated. However, its role as an adapter molecule was assigned much later. Now, what is the structure of tRNA? tRNA has an anticodon loop. In the diagram shown at the last end, this site is known as anticodon loop, which has the bases complementary to the code, and it is also has an amino acid acceptor end to which it binds to amino acids. In tRNA, on one end, that is mainly on the 3 end, amino acid combines. The amino acid joins at the 3 end of the tRNA. tRNA are specific for each amino acid. There are different type of tRNA and each tRNA is specific for one amino acid. For initiation, there is another specific tRNA that is referred to as initiator tRNA. Initiation code is AUG. So there is one initiator tRNA also is there. And there are no tRNAs for stop codons. The secondary structure of tRNA has been depicted that looked like a clover leaf, a leaf which has 4 leaflets, 4 parts. In actual structure, the tRNA is a compact molecule which looks like inverted L. Now the translation. Translation refers to the process of polymerization of amino acids to form a polypeptide. During translation process, polypeptide formation occurs because different amino acids combine together and form a polypeptide chain. The order and sequence of amino acids are defined by the sequence of bases in the mRNA. The amino acids are joined according to the base sequence which is present on the mRNA. This tRNA reads the code on the mRNA and accordingly brings the amino acid, and then different amino acids combine to form the polypeptide. The amino acids are joined by a bond which is known as peptide bond. Different amino acids joined by peptide bond. Formation of peptide bond requires energy. This is an energy consuming process. The first phase itself, amino acids are activated in the presence of ATP and linked to their cognate tRNA, a process commonly called as charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA. So the first step in translation is charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA, in which the amino acids combine with the tRNA. Amino acids combine with the tRNA using ATP energy. In this, tRNA picks up amino acids present in cytoplasm and carry them to the ribosome. The amino acids are attached to the tRNA by amino acyl bond. This attachment requires activation of amino acid, which is done with the help of ATP. After this attachment, tRNA is called the charged tRNA. Next is, if two such charged TNAs are brought close enough, the formation of peptide bond between them would be favored energetically. The presence of a catalyst would enhance the rate of peptide bond formation. So translation is the final step in the process of protein synthesis. It takes place in cell cytoplasm on ribosomal machinery. In this process, various amino acids get arranged in a specific sequence according to the message provided by mRNA by means of peptide bond to form a polypeptide chain. So, on mRNA, information is there. tRNA reads that information, brings the amino acid. The amino acids combine together and using peptide bond, and in this way, polypeptide chain is formed. The cellular factory responsible for synthesizing protein is the ribosome. So, main in protein synthesis, ribosome is involved. The ribosome consists of structural RNAs and about 80 different proteins. Ribosome is made up of rRNAs and proteins. In its inactive state, it exists as two subunits, the larger subunit and smaller subunit. The ribosome consists of two units, smaller subunit and the larger subunit. When the small subunit encounters an mRNA, the process of translation of mRNA to protein begins. So, first step is smaller subunit of ribosome attaches with the mRNA. There are two sites in the large subunit. Then larger subunits combines with the smaller subunit. In the larger subunits, two sites are present, A site and P site. The first one is known as A site, where the amino acid first combines. Next is known as P site, where peptide bond formation or polypeptide is formed. There are two sites in a large subunit for subsequent amino acids to bind to and thus be close enough to each other for the formation of peptide bond. When the two different amino acids are present at A site and P site, they form the peptide bond. Because they are very close to each other, they form the peptide bond. In the diagram also they have shown between the alanine and valine. This arrow shows that they form the peptide bond because these amino acids are very close to each other and they form the peptide bond. The ribosome also acts as catalyst. 23S rRNA in bacteria is the enzyme ribozyme for the formation of peptide bond. But one more question can be asked, what is ribozyme? When the ribosome acts as an enzyme, it is known as ribozyme. Ribo word from ribosome, zyme means enzyme. When ribosome acts as an enzyme in bacteria, it is known as ribozyme. A translation unit in mRNA is the sequence of RNA that is flanked by the start codon AUG and the stop codon and codes for a polypeptide. So in a mRNA, first starting codon is present and terminating or stop codon is present. In between, that structural unit is present which code for the polypeptide chain. And mRNA has also some additional sequences that are not translated and are referred to as untranslated regions. The untranslated regions are present at both 5' and at 3' These regions, these UTRs, these untranslated regions do not form the part of the polypeptide, but they are required for the efficient translation process. They are present before the start codon at 5' and at the stop codon at 3'. For initiation, the ribosome binds to the mRNA at the start codon. Wherever starting codon AUG is present on the mRNA, the ribosome, smaller subunit of ribosome, attaches to that code. That is recognized by the initiator tRNA, and this is recognized by the initiator tRNA. The ribosomes proceeds to the elongation phase of protein synthesis. During this phase, complexes composed of amino acids linked to tRNA subsequently bind to the appropriate codon in mRNA by forming complementary base pairs with tRNA anticodon. So first, smaller subunit of ribosomes read the code on the mRNA. Then larger subunit of a ribosome combines. Then the tRNA reads the code on the mRNA and brings accordingly the amino acid. The tRNA then combines to the attaches to the A site. Then it goes to the P site because bond formation occurs. So at the P site, polypeptide is formed, and after that tRNA separates and polypeptide separates. The ribosome moves from codon to codon along the mRNA. So ribosome moves on the mRNA. Amino acids are added one by one, translated into polypeptide sequence dictated by DNA and represented by mRNA. Important line. This can be asked. Give the explanation of the line that amino acids are added one by one, translated into polypeptide, dictated by DNA and represented by mRNA. Dictated by DNA means DNA provides the template. Whatever information DNA gives, accordingly proteins are synthesized. So DNA acts as a dictator, dictated by DNA and represented by mRNA. Whatever is dictated by the DNA, that is represented by in the mRNA. At the end, a release factor binds to the stop codon. At the end of the mRNA where stop codon is present, there some release factor attaches which completes the polypeptide, terminates the translation and release the complete polypeptide from the ribosome. So polypeptide separates at that condition, and tRNA also separates. So this is the process of translation. So during translation, site A of the ribosome receives the charged tRNA. At this site, codon-anticodon matching occurs. If anticodon of tRNA is found correct, the tRNA is passed to the P site. First, it attaches to the A site and then it moves to the P site. A new tRNA now comes at A site. Again, its anticodons are checked. If it is correct, then peptide bond formation between the amino acid attached to tRNA at A site and amino acid attached to tRNA at P site takes place. That is, bonding between amino acids at P and A site occurs. After bond formation, the tRNA of P site is removed away. tRNA separates from the amino acid. Now tRNA of A site is shifted to P site and A sites become free. So from the A site, each amino acid goes to P site and A site becomes free. New amino acids come at the A site. A fresh tRNA now comes to A site and all the procedure are repeated again. In this way, polypeptide chain grows. This process continues until the nonsense codon is reached at A site. When this happens, the chain of amino acid is released. I hope this is clear. If any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.